like as a result. And it's so important that story we tell ourselves. And what he was saying is that you have to remember, you have to like look back at your memories. And what he was trying to say is like, if your memories are all bad, you just, you have to almost rewrite your memories, basically looking for the good things that has happened to you. Because if you only look at like the bad things and all of that, then you carrying all those bad memories, all that identity with you. And he said, actually, look, like, rewrite your memories. And when he started doing that, because he also had a father who kind of was disconnected from him and so on, he said, once I started to actually rewrite the memories that I had of my dad, I was able to heal and like actually, just heal myself and move forward and so on. And I think it's so important because for many years, I've also been like, well, it's because my dad was like this or da da da, because I was, ripped from my family and my mom and I went to the US at that time, all of those things. But then at the day, and as I get older and as I kind of work on myself and all of those things, I was like, actually, there's been so much beautiful things and I need to focus on that. And I think that gets you out of the victim mentality and into accountability mentality where you're like, you know what, my parents did the best that they could with what they had. That's it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I am who I am because of largely to them. You know what I mean? So something must have gone right, And I think like, yeah.
100%. Listen, I'm telling you, and look, a good parent will always want to do self audits. You always want. Now, our generations are different. Our parents didn't grow up the way we are growing up, but that's because they made those sacrifices for us to get to this point, right? So
Mm,
maybe they didn't have the space, or maybe culturally, or socioeconomically, or just educationally, or even from a self awareness perspective, they didn't have the space to self audit. I think it's really important. I'm sure you do it within your life and in your career, and I do it constantly. And I think one of the things I learned, because there were points, and this is why I'm saying once you get to your 40s and then this whole journey of like divorce and being single motherhood, at some point I had to start asking my kid, what is it that I'm doing that maybe you don't like? Or how can mama be better? And when she started to point things out that like maybe she didn't like, it was hard for me to hear because as a parent, you're automatically in that, no, I'm the parent, you need to respect me. I'm going to tell you, I'm not a free range parent. I'm very much a disciplinarian. I believe in the order of things. I believe that you're not your child's friend. You are the parent, and they need boundaries and they need structure. But your child should have that safe space where if you did something wrong and you messed up, they have to come and tell you. They shouldn't be
mm,
so petrified and terrified of the fact that they want to be honest with you. And it's been something I've had to learn. I've messed up a lot. I have messed up a lot with my kid. But at the same time, I'm so lucky that I have this amazing relationship with her that we've built together over the last 10 years. Because, right before she turned 2, that's when, life changed. So, and now she's turning 12 in April. So the last 10 years have been a place of growth for me as Bahari as an individual, but also as my daughter's mother and as my sister's sister and as my parents' daughter. You play so many different roles to different people in your life, and sometimes it's difficult to be all of those roles and still be authentic to yourself. But you have to do self audits and you have to hold yourself accountable. And I didn't do that a lot because, again, I let myself fall into that victim mindset of I'm like this because of this happened. But when I started to kind of think about, okay, I know all of this stuff happened, but what's the positive stuff? Like, what's the great things?
mm,
Like, when I think about it, I love the fact that I got my kind heart from my mom. And I
mm,
love the fact that I got my strength and like honesty and discipline and hard work ethic from my dad, and it's just so important because, it's so easy to judge them. And listen, there's a lot of judgment there. There's a lot of judgment there. But at the same time, we still have to look back and be like, they only knew how to be and who to be with what they had at that point in time. And maybe they didn't have the self-awareness because they were drowning in being parents.